Lexia Frank with thekissingtree.org, and what I want to talk about today is keeping up with the Joneses. I'm sure you're all familiar with that phrase, but I want to know if you all feel self-conscious about, whatever it may be in your life, your clothes or your car, your house. Does it affect your personal relationships with other couples, and why or why not?
This topic is something that is so important to talk about, and I think that all the newlyweds of the world, we have to just sort of flush this out of our system. This idea of keeping up with the Joneses is kind of like an epidemic that I think can plague you at any age. In order to have a successful relationship, you have to work on building the relationship between you and your spouse, and if you're constantly thinking about and caring about what other couples are doing and what they have and what you don't have, it really takes away from this beautiful relationship that you are a part of.
I think that it's almost inevitable with any group of friends that you find yourself comparing, internally, whether it's, they have a bigger house than you or they have a nicer car, and it's, just that little green-eyed monster that just kind of sneaks up every now and then, and it's kind of how you manage it and being happy and content with the lifestyle you have because that was the best one for you.
So for me, with Dustin and I's college friends, we never feel self-conscious about anything. We never feel like we have to outdo one another or one-up one another. It gets a little trickier once we started making friends outside of our comfort level, friends that we've had for a long time. When we moved down to Florida, we had to kind of venture out of our box and find other people to be friends with. And then, yeah, it was a little bit intimidating. Finding new couple friends and thinking about, oh gosh, if we have them over for dinner, are they gonna look at our dinner table and be like, ooh, that has some banana marks on it from our 1-year-old. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit intimidating. We don't have a coffee table in our living room because it just is gonna take up too much space right now with 2 kids. So we are sans coffee table right now, which is always something I'm a little bit self-conscious of when people come over, because I offer them a drink and then they're like, oh, where am I gonna put this? I'll just put it on the carpet. So it's a little bit awkward, but other than that, I think that Dustin definitely grounds me back down and says, if they're not gonna wanna be friends with us because we don't have a coffee table, then we don't wanna be friends with them anyway.
We've got this religious saying in my faith, and basically paraphrase, it's to the effect of, in worldly matters, look to people that have less than you, and then in matters of religion and faith, look to people that have more. This saying is something that has really helped my husband and I sort of keep things in perspective, and especially with me, because it is really easy to kind of get carried away and see people who have, more than you. And so with matters of the world, it's like, now look to people that don't have it as good, and it keeps you humble and it keeps you grateful, and it's a reminder that there really is no room to complain. And then in terms of like people being better than you spiritually, it's like, it helps you to have people to look up to and say, okay, well, that's how I want to better myself, because they embody qualities that I have not yet mastered.
I think that anyone who says that they never compare themselves might be lying a little bit to themselves. I think it's just honestly something that occurs, but if you do it in a healthy way as opposed to letting it overcome you, or trying to get your partner to say, we need to be just like them, so we need to buy these things and it doesn't matter how we pay for it. If it's a credit card, who cares, we'll take care of it later on. I don't think that's a healthy aspect of trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I think that having a little bit of jealousy might just drive you to work harder to obtain what you want, but as long as it's what you really want and not just because somebody else has it, I think that that's more of the focus it should be.
So now we want to hear from you all. Do you all feel like you need to, put on airs for people that you meet, or have outrageous dinner parties, or spend more money than you really have in order to keep up with the Joneses? I'd love to hear from you.